Why does Islam care so much about your neighbor? You can choose your friends, you can choose who you marry, you can choose the people you spend your time with. But there's one person you usually don't get to choose: your neighbor. They might come from another country, speak another language, follow another religion. You might pass them every morning and not even know their name. Yet Islam says this person has rights over you. Why? In the Quran, Allah commands us to worship Him alone, and then speaks about how we treat the people around us: our parents, our relatives, orphans, the poor, and our neighbors, whether they're close to us or strangers. That's not a small thing. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, even said that Jibril kept reminding him about the neighbor so often that he began to think the neighbor might eventually be given a share of inheritance. Just think about that. Why would Islam care so much about the person living next door? Because Islam wasn't only trying to create good individuals, it was trying to create good communities. You can't separate your worship from the way people experience you. You can't speak beautifully about Islam while your neighbor is afraid of your temper. You can't fill your kitchen with food and never wonder whether the family next door has eaten. You can't talk about good character while your noise, your rubbish, your arguments, or even the way you park makes somebody else's home miserable. And here's something important. Your neighbor doesn't have to be Muslim for you to treat them well. Sometimes your neighbor may actually be closer when you need help than your own family. If something happens at 2 a.m, who is physically closest? Your neighbor. If you're elderly and haven't opened your curtains for 2 days, who might notice first? Your neighbor. If you're sick, if there's a fire, if your child needs help, the person on the other side of that wall might become incredibly important. Islam understood something very human. When people live close to one another, they become responsible for how their lives affect one another. But today, something strange has happened. We know what strangers thousands of kilometers away are doing because we follow them online. We know their holidays, their relationships, sometimes even what they ate this morning. Yet the person living across the hallway, we don't even know their name. Maybe that's something worth thinking about. Before worrying about changing the whole world, look next door. Is someone hungry? Is someone lonely? Is there an elderly neighbor who could use some help? And perhaps most importantly, does your neighbor feel safe having you as their neighbor? Because being a good Muslim isn't only about what happens when you enter the mosque. Sometimes, one of the clearest signs of your character is what happens when you go back home.